and I'll start with a tough question. Are you guaranteeing scoring the game-winning goal against your old teammates for a second game in a row?
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, we'll see. It's, hopefully another good game against them tonight, kind of round out this road trip, but yeah, it'll be a fun one.
Did you chirp them at all after the game about, hey,
No, that would have been a little too
goal, or was that too
That would have
fresh?
been a little too soon.
Yeah.
So no, I did not, but got to see him after the game and yesterday, and yeah, it's good.
Right on. Yeah. How's the fit been, Bill? I mean, you spent so many years with one organization.
Yeah, it's been good. It's different, obviously. Like, you spend, 8 years in one spot basically, and then you got to go find a new home and integrate yourself there. And yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed my time so far in Detroit. We've got a solid team. We've been winning games, and yeah, it's been good.
Just gonna say, could you have envisioned it work out as well as it has, where you're on a team that's contending for top spot on the East and is top 5 in the league?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how you envision it in the summer, but you never know how things are gonna play out. And you sign with a new team, yeah, you know names and faces, but you really don't know the ins and outs of the team. And been super impressed with how we competed this year and played, and where we find ourselves in the standings right now.
Todd mentioned he thought maybe the time in Seattle, even though it was brief, maybe helped with the transformation. Do you feel the same way because you had done it before in different situations?
I think at times I can, be a bit stubborn with things. So it's almost like, well, why did we do this in Seattle, or why did we do that here? And then, you go to a third team, and if things are a little different, it doesn't kind of fluster you or get to you, or it doesn't really matter anymore. So it's just kind of, it's been smoother where things that I've done one way, now I do it this way. It's like, it's whatever. So just kind of used to little things like that. But yeah, I think the transition's been easy. I knew a couple guys on the team coming into it, and it's a good group. So yeah, it's been easy.
You kind of just lean on your strengths then too in that situation while adapting to a new system?
Sure, yeah. A team signs you for what you're good at and what you bring to the table, and you got to show that every day. They went out on a limb to go sign you, and you gotta be that for them. So yeah, you just kind of lean on what you're good at, and try to be that every day.
Take us back to the summer. I mean, what was that process like to go through for the first time as a UFA, where you're kind of picking, you're choosing, but you're also kind of trying to find what's best?
Yeah. It's a stressful process. It's it's not easy for anyone. But at the end of the day, when talks kind of heated up with Detroit, I felt that that was a fit that made a lot of sense.
Who is it more stressful for, you or your wife?
I think at some point it became me. I don't even know if I was really talking. I was just kind of sitting there and just waiting for stuff to kind of fall. And but yeah, it's a stressful time.
It's like to join the Original Six franchise with so much history.
Yeah, very unique, very special. Playing in Winnipeg, obviously with one franchise going, one franchise coming, is just kind of a bit different in that sense. But to just walk the halls of LCA, and you see the history and the pictures, and the Stanley Cup winning teams, the just everything that comes with wearing the Red Wing logo. It's pretty special.
And what stands out about the time here? Obviously, you spent a lot of time here and had a lot of success.
Yeah, it's kind of that. It's a lot of good hockey teams we had here, and it's almost easier to remember though the people and the friends and those types of things. So I'd say that's what stands out the most.
You would have seen some tribute videos over the years for guys that came back. Have you thought at all about what tonight might mean during that first media timeout?
Honestly, no, not really.
No?
I think I had one when I came back.
Part of the success here.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't really like the camera on me for those minute or whatever. But yeah, it would be it'd be special, and hopefully get a warm welcome, and obviously super thankful for my time here, and love the fans and love this organization.
Mason, just a quick one from me. You guys have had 3 of 4 points on this road trip. What's it going to take tonight to finish this one on a high note? It's 3 good teams. It's 3 hard teams. Whenever you go into a road trip, if you're over 500, that's a really, really good trip. Obviously, you have the 1 in OT, so you get a point. So rounding it out with 2 more points tonight would be you get 5 to 6 on a trip. That's a great trip. So it'll be a good game. I think Winnipeg's a team that's kind of finding their
finding their groove a little bit here. They know where they are in the standings. They're a desperate, hungry team, and we're also hungry. We're Detroit hasn't made the playoffs in a while, and every 2 points matters a lot. I know it's a cliche to say, but especially this time of year, like they start adding up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Todd, I guess first off, it wasn't that long ago that you played Winnipeg on New Year's Eve, so do you expect much change from them, and would you like to see much of the same thing from your team that you saw that night?
Well, we came away with a win there, but the second half of the game, the Jets were the better team. We ended up on our heels a little bit, so I'd like to see us change that. That's the second part of your question, and they obviously have a little bit more confidence right now than they did at that time. So they're playing. I guess the easy way to put it is our task didn't get any easier between now and 2 weeks ago.
When you're, go ahead. No, when you're in a battle like this, though, is it good to have these kind of games? I mean, your team, does it have the maturity now to handle where you are in the standings and maintain that position, say, compared to a couple of years ago?
Well, my experience is only a year old, so I can't really reference what was going on in the past, but I do know from Christmas last year to this time, we've really tried to work on that mental fortitude, if you will, that toughness between the ears, to stick with it when it doesn't go bad. And I do believe it's getting better. Are we all the way there yet? We're still taking the test, so we don't have the true answer. But we've dealt with circumstances that all teams do, whether it's injury, travel, fatigue, and we've been able to push through to this point. So I expect our group to handle not only tonight, but the other 30 or 29 games left that we'll have after this, the same way they have early in the season.
Aside from the points, is that mental fortitude what you've liked maybe the most from this road trip so far, with the travel and some of the circumstances?
Yes, we talk about travel. We talk about the game in Minnesota the other night. That's a game that's always hard to play, but every team has that. And there's a positive, you get a point, but we also led 3 different times in that game and found a way to leave a point behind. So the glass is half empty there. I think we could have pushed harder and found a way to take 2. So we can go home at 500, or we can go home with a pretty good road trip. So as I said earlier, time to take the test.
And I noticed Simon Edmondson not out there for morning skate. Do you have any update on his status?
I can update you for today. He's obviously not going to play. We'll have him looked at when we get back to Detroit this week and try and determine what path he's taking.
How was it? And the opportunity to the Griffins bags, obviously here, they played here last night, for the organization to be here at the same time, and I know a couple players went to the game last night. How unique of a benefit is that for this group?
Well, it doesn't happen very often. One, the American League team isn't often in the home city, and 2, that the parent club isn't here at the same time. So I'm not sure if that was a planned scheduling attempt on somebody's behalf, but we appreciate it. We don't get to see them play enough or at all really during the season, so we came to the game last night. I imagine they'll come to the game tonight, so it's a really healthy thing for us to make sure they understand we're watching them. And secondly, it gives us a chance to compare our future prospects against their peers, that being the Moose last night. They had a number of prospects in the game as well, and it was good to see them one versus the other.
How's Mason Appleton settled in, Todd? And what have you learned about his game, seeing it on a daily basis?
App has settled in well. Right from the get-go, he was able to adjust after as many years as he spent here. Perhaps his short stint in Seattle maybe helped him, with the transformation. But I've said this about App. He understands the game. He's got a pretty good checking element to the game. I believe he's been around winning teams, hence the Jets last year and some of the runs they've been on, because he has some pretty good habits and they rub off on other guys. So we feel fortunate to have him.
Todd, we won't get a chance to see Edmondson in this game tonight, but would mercurial be a good adjective to describe his ascent as an NHL defenseman, or is this something, even though like you say, you've only been here for a year, that you could have forecasted?
Well, he's always been highly thought of in our organization. Fairly high draft pick with a lot of really good tools in his toolbox.
at his size and age, everything's still coming together with strength and coordination. But the toolbox is full. He's starting to access all the tools. Very committed young man. He takes his craft seriously. So, with all that going for him, his path to improvement has been steady. I don't know if it's whatever word you use there. From Saskatchewan, I don't know those big words, but
mercury. You would
mercury. Yeah, well, it's way at the bottom right now.
Yeah, how the temperature can rise.
Yeah,
really quick.
But you added an eel at the end. No, his rise hasn't been through the roof.
Quite
but it's
that
been
extreme, eh?
Very, very steady. Yeah. We're happy with his progress.